Hello and welcome back. So I'm gonna talk about my training, my 2 weekend, I think it was 2 weekend classes, uh, birth doula. Even though that happened later, I can't even remember the year, may have been 2018, 2017, but I think it just fits into into the order of how I make the videos. But I'm gonna also share with you an SER, which is a somatoemotional release or something that was building up within me just through the experience of taking this class. So I'm going a little bit of a step ahead, but I think it's important to include it while I'm talking about the birth doula training. I'm most likely not going to talk about it in some of the other videos again. So as I said in the overview video, I took the doula training. I had been working or contracting part-time at a holistic integrative pediatric clinic. We were dentistry, but we also treated babies, released lip tie, tongue ties, and treating the babies, we always saw like a certain pattern, and the doctor mentioned to me, yeah, that's UCLA, that's just how they do the birth, and there was always something that wasn't quite right, and I'm like, oh, why are they doing it? Or in the US, very standard is you have to wait until the doctor is in the room to give birth, while I'm used to in Germany, you give birth with the midwife, and if there are complications, you're at the hospital. If there's a complication, yeah, they bring in the doctor. It's not like they let you struggle through it with no result. But so I was curious, and as I'm like, I'm gonna take that doula training. I really want to know, also hear about the training, what the doulas do, and what is different. And it was a great training. Gave me some insights. I had already taken cranial classes on pediatrics and pregnancy birthing, conception, pregnancy birthing. So it's not that I learned something new, but I also saw there were a lot of things missing. So the people, or the ladies who became birth doulas, they, yeah, knew some things and advocate for the mother. I mean, they're not a midwife, they're a doula. But anyway, I finished the training. It must have been April, I think the weekend before my birthday. And it triggered a big SER. SER is like a somatoemotional release. So what non-practitioners or my clients would say, oh, I got anxiety. So for me, when I get anxiety, it's a sign of like, oh, there's something that wants to come up to the surface that is a trauma. It can be my own, it can be ancestral, it can be just in the family, some trauma, whatever I experienced. So I kept feeling funny after that training. I started working still, obviously I can, when I'm working, I go into a zone. I can shut that off, that part. Back then, now I hardly ever have anxiety. But so back then I went into work, I would work, and by the end of the day when I was done with work, I would feel like really out of it. And I'm like, okay, something is brewing under the surface. I don't really know what it is. So I kept waiting. That's how I did my own healing. But I also have a physician who is still my physician to this day. And I'm going to talk about him later on along the way. But anyway, he's the one that helps me. If I have something crazy going on, or I had something crazy going on when I was going through those phases of healing, the somatic and the memory in the soma. So what happened after the class was I was driving and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm getting these physical symptoms of like giving birth. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, well, this is weird. Okay, there's a message in it. So it all got triggered taking this class. I'm like, okay, I'm giving birth. A few minutes later, I would feel like, oh my God, I feel like I'm being born. I'm like, this is crazy. Okay, so here I am. I have the somatic feeling, like the anxiety and the feeling in my body. If I go into the anxiety, that's what it is. It's like not escaping it. Oh, I need a pill. It's more like, what is it really about? And then not overthinking, but letting it come. And I'm like, oh, it feels like, wow, I'm giving birth. Whoa, I'm being born. This is nuts. And on top of it, the next thing I experienced, and that's when I had to write my doctor an email, I felt like I was dying. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I wrote my physician, who is a DO, doctor of osteopathy, medical doctor, and he has trained so many things. He's just the most amazing person that can hold space for me, and he can see what's going on with me. I don't have to explain much, but I wrote him an email. I'm like, hey, I took the doula training. I now have somatic experiencing of being born, giving birth, and dying all at the same time. And my birthday was coming up. So I went in to see him. He made space for me to see me because he's like, okay, that's the next step. He has always supported me in when the next thing would come up. Because he knows the work I'm doing. I'm working with people and my own things come up. So the doula workshop triggered that. And he treated me. I had a big emotional release and he gave me some homeopathics. Whatever he gave me, I don't know. So it's not like I'm going to share those things because then people go and self-medicate and we don't want that. So what it was all about was, of course, what the birth doula workshop triggered was, it was around my birthday, I was being born. That was my experience. But it was also an anniversary of a relative who had passed many, many years ago. But that trauma, it's probably going to come up in a lot of those classes. It was so traumatic because I was a kid. And so that was the experience of dying. So I had tuned into that. I had that still in my body of the person dying. And then giving birth, my grandmother giving birth to that person who passed. So it was pretty traumatic. But that's what the workshop brought up. I didn't take a pill. I mean, took some of his homeopathics and we just moved through it and moved it out of my body. So that was an example of what somatoemotional releases look like and how you can do your healing. And healing is not for the faint of heart. It is not comfortable. It is not comfortable when you have to function during the day, at work, driving your car to work, and just functioning, and your body is like rattling and you're experiencing, I'm being born, I'm giving birth, and I'm dying at the same time. So it's very important to find a good practitioner who can work with you on it and hopefully can move it out. All right, thank you for listening to my experience. There's more to come. Thank you.